Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Can you please tell my audience your name?
My name is.
Nice to meet you. And can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
I'm a sixth grade world culture teacher. This is my third year teaching in middle school.
Good. So tell me a little bit about your background, being a second. What is it called? You learn English as a second language. There we go.
Okay. So I was born in El Salvador. I completed up to third grade in El Salvador, and then because I was 8 years old, we moved here in July. The school year in El Salvador ends of September. When we moved here to the United States, I thought I was going to be able to go to fourth grade because I only had it a couple months before school was over in third grade. When we got here, when they did the test, they made me repeat third grade again because of my age. I was, if I would have been put into fourth grade, I would be a year advanced. So they figured to help me learn English, and because of my age, it would just be better if I repeated the third grade, because I wouldn't be falling behind. I would just be like it was the right grade for me apparently. So I did have to repeat third grade.
So how were you 8?
I was 8.
Okay.
And I was going to turn 9 in February. So I still graduated like at 18. Like it was perfect. It worked out perfectly, but I was a little disappointed because I didn't want to have to repeat the third grade.
And that's weird because like I have friends that graduated when they're 16.
My sister, her case was different because when she came and they did the test, they gave my mom the same option. But one thing about me was that I was going to be put into bilingual classes to help me learn English. There was no NAC system back in 2001. So my sister was in 8th grade. They told her that she was going to have to be put into an all English classes and to deal with it basically. So she got put in the right grade.
Okay.
So NAC is the new students or new arrival center for when kids come. That's how they learn English. Before it was only up to like 5th grade.
Right.
Now they have it all the way into high school.
Okay.
Sorry, I think I went like right into it. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. When learning English, what kind of barriers did you face?
For me, my hardest part was the pronunciation. And I'm still up to this day really self-conscious because I know I have a strong accent. And there's certain words that are hard for me to pronounce, and certain sounds like the TH sound or the SH sound, and certain words followed by certain letters, it's harder for me to say. I hate it. I'm so self-conscious about it, but it's just pronunciation was really hard. The understanding it, and I feel that's the first thing I learned. I learned to understand it. So I could understand what people were saying, I just couldn't reply. Or it was harder for me to reply.
Right.
And then the reading, I think the reading just came after understanding. Then you start like, I don't know. To me, reading and understanding it and hearing it, it wasn't hard. To me, it was the speaking part that was hard. And I think came a lot with the fact that I was so self-conscious. I knew I was saying words incorrectly and I just didn't want to be made fun of. So yes, the pronunciation was the hardest part for me.
So when you were learning English, did you ever feel like it affected like your culture, like who you were, how you saw yourself, or how others saw you?
So I'm a talkative person. My nature is to talk. And I remember the first couple of years, it was hard for me to make friends outside my heritage or outside people who spoke like only English. So all my friends were only Spanish speakers because that's where I felt comfortable.
Right.
My sister, on the other hand, she could make friends anywhere because she learned English pretty quick. And I think I was always like, it put me into a box where, okay, this is the people I feel comfortable because this is who I'm able to speak with, rather than my normal self where I'm an outgoing person who I love to speak to anyone and make friends with anyone. So I think in that way it did change me. It just, it made me shy when I'm not a shy person. I don't.
When you were in school, like elementary through high school, did uh, being at ESL ever affect like your ability to learn, like understand, like communicate with your teachers, and were you able to like have an opportunity to actually work with a ELL teacher?
My teacher was an ESL teacher.
Okay.
So I did ESL 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I remember going into 6th grade, I was still considered ESL until, and I don't know if things were different before, because this was back in 2001. But by the time I made it to 6th grade, they tested me. And then I remember they took me out from the ESL class and gave me a language arts class. So I didn't understand that in the moment, but now that I'm older, I realized that that was the moment I exited ESL and got put into regular classes.
So you graduated.
I graduated, I guess you can say. So I finally exited ESL in 6th grade. I think by the time I exited ESL, like I was ready to exit ESL. I do think if I would have gone like the same route that my sister did, I think there would have been a big drop in grades, because like, oh my god, like it was just, I cannot imagine how she did it basically, because it was nice for me to have a little comfort blanket of, okay, at least they speak Spanish, so I can ask them questions and communicate with them. So I don't know, I guess there's a pro and a con on everything. Like I can see how it benefited her, but I don't know if I would have been able to handle it. I was a lot younger too.
Gotcha. Yeah, your sister's a soldier. She really is. Okay, so what helped you learn English? Did you do vocab cards, matching activities, maybe watching movies or shows with subtitles?
So I was gonna say that was the main thing. Listening to English music, watching all English TV series, movies, that was a big help. I think I don't feel like I had to do anything extra, just what the school will provide, and listening to the English music and watching TV in English. I think that was it. Like that was it for me.
So prior to learning English, how much did you know?
It wasn't a lot. It was like, no, it was, I did know colors. I did know like numbers. I knew the ABC song. Did I sing it correctly? Probably not. Right. But I did know like maybe like about 50 words in English.
Okay.
But that was about it. I couldn't not have put anything into a sentence. Like if you were to say, okay, put this number into a sentence, I would have just like nodded my head.
It's cool. All right, let's see. Okay, so did you ever feel any sort of discrimination as a non-native speaker?
Not really. I think as an adult, many times maybe, but not as a kid. Again, I guess the group that I was put into, we were all in the same boat. So no, I never felt discrimination. And I think I exited out in the correct time. I don't know if maybe if I would have stayed in ESL through my older grades, maybe I would have felt a little bit of discrimination there.
Yeah.
But since I did exit out by 6th grade, I never felt that.
Dodged a bullet.
I did. Because I see how kids are now.
Right. Especially in high school. Okay, so you're a teacher. You have ELO students in your classes. How do you assist with those students? Do you have any specific strategies that you use?
So I do love to put anchor charts with pictures so they can match. Because sometimes it's easier to recognize the word matched to a picture than see a bunch of letters as a definition. So I do like to do that a lot. I also like to I have a couple of students who actually don't have that much English in them. So if they want to draw instead of write, I'm okay with that too, and I will accept it because they're at least attempting it. They're still trying. And then always make sure to let them know that your room is a safe environment. No one's going to make fun of them if they mispronounce a word or anything like that. And I always tell them there's words I still can't pronounce and I'm an adult, so it's okay. And I always do like to share my story or my background, hey, I came here when I was in 3rd grade. I didn't know any English. And just, I don't want to say like to inspire them, but to give them hope that it does get better. Like you will eventually learn the language. You will eventually, like, there's hope for you.
Was there anyone or anything that motivated you to keep learning English?
I think my sister, just seeing how she was being able to do it, I was like, okay, if she's doing it, then I can do it too. So that was, she was big on like, hey, we got this. Just because we came here doesn't mean that we're not gonna be no ones in life. Like we're gonna graduate, we're gonna have our careers, we just gotta learn English.
Are you and your sister close?
We are, we really are.
Aww. I wish me and mine were. Anyways, all right, last question. Is there anything you want to see change or improve to better help ESL, ELL students?
I think nowadays it's such a big number that many people are slipping through the cracks. There's kids that are not ready to exit ESL, but they're exiting them out of the program just because there's not enough room in the next system. They only have them in there for a year. I think one of the things that helped me was that I was able to exit when I was ready. And I would love for that to improve because there's many kids that are not ready to be in regular classes, but they came in the older, NAC is only for a year, and they're already exiting it out. And everybody knows that they're not ready. But because that's like the one thing, NAC is only for one school year, it's...
You know, I'm gonna edit this out, but it's fine. You know, Sam, I hated it so much whenever...
It breaks your heart. And then the worst part is that they didn't even give him to me. They gave him to her, and she doesn't know any Spanish. So she would like, can you come tell him this, or can you come do this? Because they didn't know anything. And it messes with you, like, not to understand what people are saying.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, Miss.
You're welcome.